Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're talking about one of the most goated CPUs to be released, the AMD Ryzen 5 3600. Released back in 2019 for $200, the Ryzen 3600 was a fantastic budget CPU back then. It boasted 6 cores, 12 threads, with a base clock of 3.6 GHz and a boost clock of 4.2. All this while maintaining a low TDP of 65 watts. It was often paired with the RTX 2060 or the GTX 1660. Which I do have on hand, but I didn't have time to add them into the benchmarks. You can easily pick one of these up for around $80 on the used market, which is what I recommend. I wouldn't go out and buy one of these new since you could get better value for your money with the 5600X instead. Now, I know what you might be thinking. With the newer 5000 and 7000 series processors out, is the 3600 even relevant anymore? Which is a fair thing to ask, but here's the thing. While the newer CPUs might be more powerful, the 3600 is still a great value to this day, especially on the used market. With one of the upsides of the 3600 is that it supports PCIe Gen 4, which will come in handy when upgrading to newer GPUs or using faster storage configs. Finding a motherboard to pair up with the 3600 is simple. Often you're able to find B550s for easily under $100 on the used market. So yes, the 3600 is a powerful chip, but how well does it keep up with modern GPUs? Today I'll be using both the RTX 4090 and 4070 to give a good understanding of how the CPU holds up. For the other parts used, the CPU is paired up with an ASRock B550 Phantom Gaming with 16 gigs of RAM clocked at 3600 MHz in dual channel. Then for good measure, I'm using the Noctua NHD 15 Chroma Max Black, but the stock cooler for these CPUs would do perfectly fine. All this is on an open test bench with an ambient temperature around 22 Celsius. So now let's take a look at those benchmarks. So yeah, the results were impressive for being a 4-year-old mid-range CPU. Both the combos achieved smooth FPS rates at 1080p high settings on various games, and even reaching the capped FPS count like in Apex Legends. The only two games where we saw the CPU struggling was Cyberpunk 2077 and Helldivers 2, which are CPU intensive compared to the other games. But even in Cyberpunk, with some adjustments to the settings, we were able to achieve a stable 60 FPS experience. Overall, the Ryzen 5 3600 remains a fantastic gaming CPU, particularly on the used market. It has strong performance to keep up with modern GPUs and has great room for overclocking, paired with the right CPU cooler. So if you're on a budget, looking for a solid gaming CPU, the Ryzen 3600 is definitely worth considering. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. But as always, huge thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.